ex-AFL player Fraser Garrick, a.k.a. the G-Train. And that's when you know you've found yourself a fucking legend, when everyone in the country calls you the G-Train. Now, he's the only G-Train in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, there's some local G-Trains, sure. If you go down to your local footy club, there'll be probably 6 G-Trains. That might even be an F-train or a H-train. But there's one true G-Train, and that's Fraser Garrick, who played for the St Kilda Football Club probably over 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we were kids, he was on footy cards when I was quite young.
Yeah, and he played for West Coast before St Kilda.
Yeah, right. See, I'm so young that I don't even really remember him playing for West Coast.
Yeah.
And he was eating pie at the football, and he did what I always say with Wheat Bix. Always have backup Bix. I bought some backup Bix this morning because I was running low, and you know what? I needed him. I was 1 Bix short of my regular 7, and I would have had to have 6, and I would have had 1/6 less energy today and less fiber. So that would have been a horrific shit tonight. When I go and lay that boy before I go to bed. Big graphic, but dietary requirements are important. And anyway, so Fraser Garrick, he's eating 1 pie and he's being filmed on the TV. The commentators are having a bit of a laugh, go, look at the G-Train down this pie, which is so Australian to just like go, oh, look at ex-AFL players in with the grandstands and he's eating a pie. What a down-to-earth bloke. It's like, mate, it's just a pie. Like, we all like pies at the footy. And he's hooking into it, by the way. He's not just having a nibble. He's fucking doing this thing in like 4 bites. He's throwing this pie down like it's a fucking shot put down the back of his throat. He's just yeeting it down. And he's a big boy. He's a G-Train, right? And it's all aboard fucking just the pie train, right? And he's just woofing this pie down. And then the person in front of him kind of turns around, has a bit of a chat, and you can't really hear the discussion, but you don't need to. It's no words needed to be said. Fraser Garrick did one of the most Australian things and most honourable things I've ever seen a grown man do in public. He reached down to his backup pie and handed a complete stranger in front of him a pie that was intended for the G-Train. Is there a higher honour in sport or Australia? Name a higher accolade or a Nobel Prize. Get fucked, you moron. I would take a half-cold 4 and 20 processed pie off the G-Train over a Nobel Peace Prize any day of the week. For 2 reasons. 1, much more likely that I would get handed a pie by the G-Train than me ever winning a Nobel Peace Prize. But secondly, what are you going to do with the Peace Prize? Oh, get a pat on the back? Nah. Fraser Garrick gave that person an experience they'll never forget. Not only are 4 and 20 pies, and this might be controversial, but I talked this with Reese during the week. Huge call from me. I think the 4 and 20 meat pie, the one I'm talking about, the single meat pie is the best pie. Over 70% of bakery pies. Sure, I'm not going to ignore that there's a top 30% of high-tier bakery pies going around there, depending on the bakery. I'm not an idiot, right? I have taste buds. But I'm just saying it's kind of like the Carlton dry or draft of pies. It is nothing special, but you know what you're going to get, and it's a staple, and it's also reasonably priced and readily available at every sporting venue where you'd want a pie. So that's my case. Case closed. 4 and 20. Sponsor me. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Fraser Garrick, mad shout outs to him. One of the most Australian acts of kindness I've ever seen and we need more of that. If more people had backup pies to give to a stranger, we wouldn't have people starving on the street. You know, we wouldn't have people starving at football games during the third quarter when it's getting intense and you're trying to hold your piss because you don't want to miss any of the action. Who's got your back? The G-Train does.
Somewhere